Well, Braden was a freshman last year. We had high hopes for him this year. So it's hard to say that that's going to impact us a lot because he really, it's not like having, it's not like saying, okay, T was here last year, now T's not here. So can't really say we've lost anything because, he hadn't done it yet. We had high hopes, that for what he could have done this year, but it's a lot of opportunity for JC. He's the next guy, and this is a big moment for him to step up and be the contributor that we need him to be at that position. But we got a lot of options. I mean, we got Jalen Lay who's here. We got excited to see if he's taking a step. Davis just got here this summer. See where he is. Luke Price is a guy we moved over, and JL. So we got guys. We'll figure it all out. But we've also got a bunch of wideouts that we can just roll another one of them guys out there on third down. I don't think you really trick a lot of people on third down. When everybody knows you're throwing the ball. So we did some of that last year toward the latter part of the season. We did not a lot, but we did a little more 10 personnel, and so we'll have plenty of options when it comes to throwing the football. To me, the bigger thing is just the depth at the position. Losing a quality young talent like him for this year, you just have to look at it like an injury. He's out for the year, and he's going to have a couple years after that, and hopefully when his story is all written, he'll be that great player that we think he can be.
He can be back for the playoff?
Boy, I like how you think. Man, it'd be great to be in the playoff. I think so. I think it's sometime in December when that time is up. So if we're fortunate enough to be in a high-level postseason game that's after middle of December, if we're playing early December, we probably didn't have a very good year. But he would have the opportunity, I think, to be back for that.
Coach, through the last 3 national championships, how do you talk to your players about handling pressure and expectations on a national stage?
Yeah, it's just a part of our culture. It's every day in what we do. Stay humble, stay hungry. You got to show up every day with something to prove. Whether you're picked to win, well, you got something to prove. If you're that good, well, you better go prove it. Or if you're picked to stink and you don't think you stink, well, you got something to go prove. And so I think that's just a mindset that you have to have all the time, that you have something to prove and you have to start over. Every single year you have to start over. There's no guarantees. And so for us, it just starts in our messaging, how we talk to our players. When we start over in the spring, it's our strength conditioning program, how we work and grind through that, and just no entitlement. You have to earn everything. That's how we do it in our program. That's the way it is in real life, and that's the way it is on the football field.
You mentioned Davis Allen. Could you talk about some of the other mid-year guys that showed up this summer?
Mid-years or the summer guys? Levante is here. We got some backers that showed up. McGuire, Kane, Levante, all rolled in here, and Brighton's coming off an injury. So 4 really good-looking young players right there. Haven't had a chance to be on the field with them or anything like that, but just like where they are physically, like their demeanor. They've hadn't been here that long, but they've had a good focused summer to this point. So we'll. Oh yeah. Jalen is had a good. Joey talked yesterday. Kind of went through all those guys, and he's about his business guy. He's very focused young player. He's a guy that we think has some versatility to his game. Will give us some options defensively. But we just got to get out on the field with them and see where they are. You just never know. But they're all working hard. They've all been in the playbook. They've been meeting and watching tape and learning and trying to get ahead on the installation, kind of shorten that learning curve a little bit before we get out on the field with them. So it's a good group. Andrew Booth's another guy that showed up here. He's a guy that we've been anticipating getting here as well. And So we had most of the guys were mid-years. 17 guys came in January, so those guys are all better, bigger, stronger, in a different place mentally. And then those guys that just got here are really excited, to get going.
When it comes to, bumper card coaching versus more on-the-wheel coaching, does it take a different skill set, or is it just more of the same activity from a coach but more hands-on?
I think, I don't know about skill set or anything. I just think as a coach, you just have to always have the pulse of your team. And, and part of that is understanding the maturity of your team. And sometimes it's maybe you just getting with the leaders of your team and saying, hey, here's some things that we need, and challenging them and giving them opportunities to lead a little bit. And then there's sometimes as a coach where even last year, we probably won the championship one day in practice last year. It was one of those days, and it was time for me to step in, and I did, and it was a long day. But when we walked off the field, we were a different team, and so even though you have a veteran group, there's still times where you gotta, all right, this is what's needed in this moment. And I think as a coach, you have to just kind of balance that regardless. But certainly when you have a younger team, you have to be patient, and more patient, because there's just certain things they don't know, they don't understand, and you have to teach. It's no different than parenting. My conversations with my 16-year-old is very different than they were when he was 9, or 10. So it's no different when you're dealing with a football team.
Coach, I think a lot of fans might have been worried about Shaq Smith transferring, but you feel pretty good about Skowski and Smith and those guys you have.
Oh yeah. Shaq, that was didn't see that coming, but it's what he felt like he needed to do, and you wish him well. He was model in every aspect of our program, so certainly hate to lose him, but that doesn't damper our spirits for who we have at the linebacker position. We are, I personally think that this could be as good a back seven as we've had. I just really am excited about the personnel that we have. We'll have a little younger depth at linebacker, but I think we're athletic. I think we got guys that can run, guys that know how to play the game, and it's going to be a really good group. But Isaiah and Skowski and Chad, that's a pretty good starting point to go out there. And Skowski's one of those guys that the football world, y'all know who he is, but the football world didn't really know who Skowski is. But if he stays healthy, they will. He is a really good football player, and it's just a matter of time before everybody knows that. And just again, him catching some breaks and staying healthy. Jake Venables, Jake had as good a spring as anybody on our team. He's a redshirt freshman, and Jake can play. He'll be a guy that'll be in the mix. Mike Jones is really coming along. Balin Spector, super excited about Balin. And then you throw in all these new guys. Reagan Upshaw's a guy nobody here knows anything about. He'll be a redshirt junior. He's a guy that had never played football until he came here, and he was like a world-class rugby player. And he's been grinding in our program. He's actually on scholarship, but he's a kid that could get in the mix for sure. And then again, you throw in these young guys that we have. It's going to be fun to watch Brent kind of mold that group. But I love the group that we have. I think we got everything we need to be very successful there.
Dabo, the guys on defense who you lost last year, they weren't only big-time leaders for the defense, they were leaders of this entire team.
Yep.
Do you see people ready to step into the roles that Christian and Clee and those guys have? Yeah,
we've got a few of those. We do. We've got a few of them, but not as many. That was just a very unique team, and not only was it unique in that aspect, but they loved that part of where they were in their journey. They loved it. They loved saying, "Coach, I got this." Because they could. I wouldn't. Sometimes I wouldn't even have. They knew what was coming, and it would be like, hang on, coach, we got it. And then they'd go handle it, and that's pretty cool, when it's you've been around a group and they are so bought into what you do and believe in what you do, they want to enforce it so you don't have to, and that's pretty cool. We don't have as much of that, but we've got some really, really strong, committed program guys that I'm super proud of. A guy like Kayvon, a guy like Skowski, a guy like Nolan and Denzel and AJ. Man, AJ is a great leader. Just super excited. Tanner Muse. These guys have done a phenomenal job of leading, and they're well respected on both sides of the ball. And then you flip over and you look at Ankrum and Pollard and Cervinka and John Simpson. These are grown men. Not as flashy as Clee and Christian and that crowd, but highly respected and believe in what we do and how we do it. And they've had a lot of success. And, then you look at a guy like Travis, who I still think of as a young guy, but he's a junior, and he's carries himself differently than he ever has. And because he's not as y'all know, he doesn't say a whole lot. But the change in him, because I think his awareness of looking around the room and going, there's Ches and there's Duke. Man, I'm going to have to I got to lead this group. They don't know anything. And I think his self-awareness of that, of not only what he's got to do, but providing that, it's been fun to watch. Same thing with T. Same thing with Amari. Trevor, he's in a completely different place right now than he was this time last year, and so it's good. You don't have to be a senior to be a leader, or to be a guy that pulls other people along the way and believes or buys into what you're doing from a program standpoint. So I think we're a little different, but when it's all said and done, we'll be a close team. We've still got to develop that chemistry.
Yeah, but what are your takeaways from the trip you took this summer?
To Italy, amazing. It was. I was telling you last night, just a life-changing experience for me. I've never been out. I've been to the Bahamas. I did get to go to Toronto, but all that's kind of attached to America, right? I never like, when I think of out of the country, that's out of the country to me. It really was a life-changing thing, just from a cultural standpoint, just historical, just seeing. They got chairs older than America over there. We think about whatever 300 years or whatever. It's just phenomenal to see Rome, to see Florence. It was mine and Cass' 25th anniversary, and we took our family. We were able to go to Italy this summer, and went to Rome and Florence and Portofino and down in different areas. But it was just to see things that were built and how they were built and crafted all these years ago, to go to the Coliseum that was built in year 80. It's fascinating to me, just how smart people had to be, architecturally, engineering. It's not like, they didn't have CAD machines and computers and just, how about power? They didn't have that, and just, it was pretty amazing experience. And then the diversity of, it's almost like South Carolina and Georgia, different countries, different languages. So it was a really amazing trip and an experience for me and Kath and our boys. And I took my mom and stepdad and her parents. Just an awesome 11 days.